Mamer Likutei Torah for Rosh Hashanah, the fifth Mamer, כמוךLikutei. Lahavin inyan haposik כמוךLikutei v'gomer. Understand the posik כמוךLikutei. That's the posik in Micha. Okay, the exam posik with Ches. The posik says כמוךLikutei, who is a God like you, noisei oven. He's going to explain the whole pasuk. Noisei oven, he carries the sin va'over al pesha, and he goes over the pesha, the more serious she'edis nachal losei la'erzik la'adapik chopet chesed. We say this in the davening, also the Rebbeinu Shalom. So he says, to understand the pasuk mechamecha shu pirush l'yidgimel midas shebatorah. That is a interpretation to the 13 midas, the measures of the Torah, which we say Hashem Hashem keil rachum v'chanun. So the pasuk Hashem Hashem keil is mi keil kamecha, is a commentary, is an explanation of the 13 midas of the Torah. Actually, in the I believe in the Machzor, when you do Tashlich over there, it shows you how each word of these psukim correspond to one of the midas of the Yud Gimel midas Arachamim. So Hine Keil Hu Chesed said Mi Keil Kamecha. Keil is the shame of Hashem, which represents kindness. Kamesha Kosu. As the pasuk says, Chesed Keil Kol Hayom. So you see that there is a connection between Chesed and Keil. That this Chesed is called the name of Keil. That's the name that represents the Chesed. Upirush mi bal Chesed kamecha. So what does it mean? Mi Keil kamecha. Who is a Chesed, a Keil who has chasodim like you? What does it mean? Is shachasodim shelucho nispashtim le'ein kates, that Hashem's kindness expand to no end. It goes all the ways. Me'orin sobaruchu, all the ways from the blessed light of the Ein Sof, the mokim namuch ma'oid, to a very low place. So that's why the Hamshacha, the way they come from the Eibishter level of Chesed, is equated to water. Water goes from the highest place and it goes to a very low place. The derech. So what is the way? What is the way for these chasodim to descend to so a very low level? That's what he said. That allows for it to go down very low. Pirush. So what does it mean? That which is still in the level of oven. We have two things: noise oven and overall pesha. Oven is less than pesha. Pesha is a more serious avera, serious sin. So when it comes to the oven, noise oven, he can carry that. But when it comes to the pesha, overall pesha, pirush. Mashu adayin b'mchinas oven, that which is still in the level of sin. So then he raises it and brings it up above. That is if it is at a level of an oven. Mashu b'mchinas pesha. But something which is in the level of pesha, and that's already a more serious avera. So therefore, Mashal Pesha, which means that it's thicker, it's a bigger, a grubber, a more serious Aveda. So over there he can't, and that is not able to be going up. So that you need to be over a Pesha. What happened in the Pasuk says, that the sins of a Yid, they sort of interrupt. So basically what it means, you cannot bring up the level of pshoim, of pesha, so that separates. So you can't bring through. And further, it says the pasuk means that pure eyes cannot see bad. So basically means when you have bad, it cannot be elevated to Torah. It cannot be elevated lalis. The Einam Yecholim Achsodim Laredes Tashom, and the Chesed cannot descend over there. Even though we say it goes very low, it can go as low as Ovid, but it can't go as low as Pesha. So Lachei Oiver V'Doirech HaPesha Shelo Yofsiku. So therefore he goes through and he steps. Oiver HaPesha means he steps on the Pesha Shelo Yofsiku. He tramples them so they don't disrupt. So Noise Ovid V'Oiver HaPesha, the Chesed of Hashem kill kemocha. But it goes the pasuk l'sheidis nachalos. Rakol zehu b'imshu l'sheidis nachalos. It's only if he is like leftover nachalos. K'mishakosu b'gemara perikama de Rosh Hashanah in Zayin Amud Aleph. So there the Gemara says l'mi shemeisim atzmeki shirayim. Sheidis means leftover. If you hold yourself like leftovers with humility, then you have the bracha, then you have Hashem carrying the oven and trampling, going over on the Pesha. Ayin Rabbis, Reish Parshas Nitzovim, Parshas B'Shalach, Parshas Chavov, and also in Megillah, Chav Ches Amud Aleph. To understand this in a more detailed way, behold, our sages of blessed memory tell us, that teshuva is great, that it can go up, it touches until Hashem's throne of glory. In the Zohar it says teshuva. What does the meaning of the word teshuva? Tashuv K. Both. K ilah, the upper level of Hey from the Yud K, and also Hey Tata, the Vav K, the Hey from the lower level. So in order to understand this, we have to understand what is it Tshuva. Because people make a mistake. They say that dafke anoshim chusya erech ubale averis, only people who are of low value, who do averis, they say they need tshuva. That's like, who needs to do tshuva? People who do averis and chusya erech. But the emes enike. But that's not the truth. The truth is not so. Since the main tshuva is the lower hay and the upper hay to bring it back, but a man who is empty, who is ignorant, doesn't know about bringing back the keitato, the keilo. That is this was said for people that sit in the tent and learn Torah. By them it said level tshuva, not for Avedis, to bring the hay ilah. What is the hay ilah of the Torah? Torah shemiksav hi hay ilah. The written Torah, that's the upper level of Hey. The Torah Shabbat Tato. So what does it mean that you got to bring it back? When a person interrupts and he occupies himself in the vanities of the world. He has to bring back these haze, the Torah Shabbat, the Torah Shabbat that he's interrupted and he's wasted with other things. He has to bring them back. This is in a general way. We talk about Torah Shabbat and Torah Shabbat. But in a more specific way, in a his bodenus begedula savaya be'il the meditation, the reflection, and the greatness of Hashem, and the attention of the davening, the kavanosa, the kavona, the machshava, and thought, ubchinas, hey law, there's the upper level of the hey. So the machshava, the intent, when it's in the mind, in the thought, that's the hey law. But when you express it, you verbalize it in your mouth, when you occupy yourself in Torah Tefillah, you bechinat keitatot, lo keitatot. Hine, Amr Razal, our sages tell us, Shiva Dvarim Kodmu La'ilam, V'achas Mehen Hat Teshuvah, that there are 7 things that come before the world was created. Teshuvah is one of the 7 things that comes before the world. Ayin Bebreshis Rabbi Parshas Aleph. Over there it mentions that. Boinya. The idea is, Kihine Ikerat Teshuvah he believed. The main Teshuvah is in the heart. She bechinas Heilah. The Hainu, what's the next word? What do you have next word? The Hainu? Klois Hanefesh. Yeah, Klois Hanefesh. The Hainu, the words were mixed up. Hainu, Klois Hanefesh, Elov Yizbarach. That means, the Heilah means that your soul expires to Hashem blessing. That's the Shuvah is in the heart, and that's the Heilah. Hainu, Aidei Shamizbayna. When a person reflects, Shekoloi Lamutachas Azman, the whole world is underneath the time, because we have Shit Alfishnin Kulu, 6,000 years is the time that the world exists. Lafilu Yimais HaMashiach, even when we talk about the days of Mashiach and when the resurrection of the dead, who Bizman. It's all in time. Everything is under the boundaries of time. Bahazman, who Nivro, and the time is created. Time was created to vitalize the worlds, the upper worlds and the lower world. You have the 12 different ways that the name of Hashem can be combined. Basically, when you have 4 letters, like the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, you can have a Yud Kei Vav Kei, you can have a Yud Vav Kei Kei. You have 12 different combinations of the way to put the letters together. Each combination of the name of Havaya changes the hour of the day. A day based through Havayis, so every day there is a new combination of Havaya. The Hainu, every hour there is one combination. So that creates and vitalizes the upper and lower world. Is that zman, those sirufim, those manim. B'chol laila yud beis sirufei adnai. So during the day it's yud kei vav kei, but at the nighttime you have also the 4 letters of the aleph, dalet, nun, yud, which is the 12 different combinations of that letter that gives you the hours of the nighttime. The achayis rotzei v'shoy. Say the energy, the chayis that comes down in the world is in a way, it goes and it returns. Rotzei v'shoy, from the pasuk. Pirush. Sha'achayis shahoya al yetziru for rishonim. Every hour, the previous chayis goes up, and we have a new one. So it's rotzei, goes back up, and then it comes down, another tziruf. So chayis shoya that tziruf for rishonim, the energy that came through the first combination, goes up to its place. The yered chayis achar kach de tziruf hasheni, and the energy comes down later on through this second combination. Had that not been the case, if it's continuous, or you die with tziruf echad, it would have been sufficient with one combination. Why do we need all the other? This creates the past and the future. It's all by the tzirufim. Each tziruf makes a past, and the next tziruf makes a future. Which means the first energy leaves, and it's included in its source from below to above, goes up. And then another energy comes down from above to below. And that becomes Azman. It's like a clock. In Yiddish, it's called a zeger. Meaning, every hour is this man. That's this clock, and every clock has its tziruf. Nikra shah. That's what we call it. Shah means an hour. Shah means pirush hapoine. Hapoine means it turns. Shapoina achayis milmaylo lemato, that the energy turns from above to below. B'bchinas rotzi v'shoiv, in a way rotzi v'shoiv, that it comes down and goes up. V'chein halev, same thing is with the lev, with the heart. Shabo yikar chayis ha'adam, most of the main chayis of the person is in the heart. Shu elam cotton, which is a small world, a microcosm of the world. So just like the world has a chayis that comes and goes, so by human being, the heart constantly bangs, the pulse goes up and down. It always, pulse is always going. Machmas sha'chayis u'berotze v'shoiv, over there too, the chayis goes and then it returns. I'm a sekos mizem, same to Rav Maskil, ki kasher hashamayim hakadosh. So let's see from, as the pasuk says, from my flesh I see godliness, because we can see an example for above the way it is by the human being. A person who has a certain matter to speak. Those words are engraved on his heart, they're all together over there. Everything that he's able to speak and to detail with his lips, take him an hour or two to speak about it, but in his heart, it's all engraved all at once. Kach kamiyochol l'mayla b'koir hachayim v'atzirufim. So same thing is above, that the source of the chayis v'tzirufim, of this energy and the various combinations, the source of it, shehu chayi hachayim eirin sobaruchu, which is the life of life, which is the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Shom ein ischalkus zman over hoive v'osid. Over there is no division between of time, of past, present, and future. Kishom nichlu lukum yachad. Over there, everything is included together, just like by the lake. That's why I brought the example. It's all together. Whatever comes out later on, over there, it's all together. Potentially, he has the power to create and to vitalize many more times 6,000 years. And many 7 years and 50 years. So in the potential, over there's no limitations of that. Over there, it can come out very different thing in the source. But what happens is shachayis, nimshach, when that energy extends from above to below to vitalize the world, that's when it becomes time. Then it created time. So v'chein, and likewise, koydem shenivra olam, there was no time at all. My mashkoset biura posik yenosi gabi kiloi machshivei machshivei. Okay. So basically, what he wanted to bring out over here, that you see that the whole idea of Zman is only created over here when it's Mechayed the world. Gabi Hashem, there is no Ischalkus of Zman. It's all together. So in exceed that. So the emerson is with regards to Hashem, these things Taka didn't change. I, Hashem, have not changed. And also we say, and the Eibishter is the same before. It's not just that the Eibishter is there from before the world was created, but he is the same level, which means that the world creation didn't really change anything with regards to Hashem. Pirush. It means to say, just Hashem was the only one. He was totally united. There was nothing else there. Nothing changed. He's also one after it was created. The Pasuk says, Atahu Hashem levadecha, you're alone, meaning this is after creation. The world was created, so what does it mean you're alone? You made it and you vitalized it. Basically, everything needs Hashem's constant, so they're not really independent. So how did Hashem create it? He created it, it says, with the Yud and the Hey. Hashem Tzuri Lamim. So the Gemara says that the Yud, the Olam Haba, was created, and with the K, from the Shem Havaya, the Olam Hazeh was created. Basically, they call Seder Asmanim. This is all the order of times. As we said before, even the time Yimasa Mashiach, so since their energy is so limited that it's only a Yud and a Hey, they have no comparison and no value. The Eibishter is alone. This doesn't change anything. Say, by example, by a person, if you want to measure one letter that the person says as opposed all the words that a person can. Take it one letter against, weigh it against all the words that he can speak all of his life, ain't an extra the clue. That's considered that's not to nothing. So that's why also all the worlds are like nothing. So therefore he's still alone because they have no significance. So basically it's nothing, no significance next to Hashem. They're just a letter, they're just a yud, they're just a hey, even Mashiach, even Chisamesim. And relative to the age, there's nothing, therefore he's still alone. This has nothing really changed. So Shekosu Berega Kotten Azavtich. So on one second we say that the Rebbe says just She'ena L'Rega Kotten. That this is only a 1 second. Why? Umashikosu Elef Shonim Beinecho Kiyemesko, that 1,000 years is like one day. Hainu Bizman HaGolus. That is during the time of Golus. Umashikosu Vashmura Balayla. Basically, what he's saying, relative to the everything is it's like one instant. And why do we say Elef Shonim? That's in Golus. Ashmura is Balayla, which means like this. Mashenkin Losid Lovoi. She is Galil Lakusi Ba'ilam. When godliness will be revealed in the world. You'll see. Shakul Nafshah L'Rega. Lost in love, it'll be Berega Kod Nazavtich. Everything will be considered like an instant. Because once we see godliness in the world, so which is higher than Zman, so then everything is like an instant. Uluzois Berega Kotten Azavtich Uberachamim G'dolim HaKamtzuk. So therefore, in a one instant I have neglected you, but with great mercy I will gather you. Pirish. Shekaptzich Berachamim G'dolim. So what it means like this: when I will gather you in with this great compassion, which means, what does it mean? Then you'll be able to appreciate, you'll see that all this is just an instant. Because relative to Hashem, this is not value. So when we say Elef Shonim Beinecha, 1,000 years, in Golos, it seems like we're so long in Golos. It seems like 1,000 years. By the Eibishter, it's one day, but it's still a long time. But the truth of the matter is, once it's Nizgalav, and we'll see that it's only Rega Kotten. So Yale v'Yovei Zichrinenu. And we say, let it go up our memory. Just so, like a memory is like Sheino Zecher Ba'alma. It's just a memory. In other words, it's very insignificant. So basically, all this tells us how we in this world are on a much lower and insignificance totally next to Hashem. So what? So when a person puts these words on his heart, that all the world is on the time. And all the time is considered like an instant before Hashem, which is higher than time. man klal, and before Hashem, there is no dividing of time at all. And in his heart it will be like a burning flame, like a furnace of a burning flame. And then your soul yearns, aspires, your soul to cleave to Hashem. This is the meaning of tshuva comes before the world. Tshuva kodma la'ilam she'ein ha'pirush ha'hoysa koydem briyas oilam. It doesn't mean, he quoted from the Medrash before that one of the 7 things is tshuva. It doesn't mean she'hoysa koydem briyas oilam that it was before the world was created. Because before there was a world, she'im ein oilam, ein oven ha'shechata be'ein tshuva. If there's no world, there's no sin, there's no sin to sin. So what is it to do tshuva? Elohim shatshuva beklois hanefer. Say that it's b'rios ha'olam, meaning when you do teshuva in a way that your soul expires, u'lemaylam hazman v'ha'olam, it's b'ha'yam time. You're connecting to a higher than time. Koyd b'rios ha'olam means not in the boundaries, in the time, in the level of time in the world. Because that is to cleave to him blessed in the Enes Baruch she'ein the fun of shum hischalkus man klal, in which there is no dividing of time at all. Shamachmas isboinenus zu hazeh, because of this is boinenus in the Mailam Hazman, all the tshuva b'klois hanefesh. That's how it comes to tshuva in klois hanefesh. V'ay mashikosu d'viramaslu shir hashirim. V'shikosu v'niyavaylish b'sivat ne'kiyakalecha l'sim. Pirush she'ein lochem klois hanefesh. That I did not change, which means that you haven't had the klois hanefesh lechi lisim. Means that you don't have the expiration of the soul. The Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya. So where does the soul expire? What is the reason? Because of Leishanisi, because of the higher level of the oilness. So that way, he brings down, through this level of tshuva, level of return, he brings down that there should be godliness in this world. And also Moisef Eir Vatzilus. So the Pashtus, the Pasuk says, keep all my mitzvahs and do that. And Atem Ksiv, but it says Vasisim not without a Vav. It says you make them. Ksiv, Choser Vav. Atem Ksiv, Choser Vav without the Vav. Not Vasisim Eisim Atem. Razal, so our sages tell us, the pasuk counts it as if they made me. And then there's another pasuk. The pasuk in Tehillim it says, Shivisi Hashem. Shivisi means I place Hashem, but here is makes Hashem. Shupirush Kimoi Osisi. Over here it means like I make them. Kimoi, like the pasuk says, Hoid v'hodor. Teshavalov, you put on him, Hoid and Hodor. So Shivisi means to place. V'hainu k'vashikosu v'yaz David Shem, that David made the name of Hashem, Shivisi Hashem, he makes up Hashem's name through the Shekolike Kavanoso Oiso B'Toiroso Utfiloso Ibas Shem. As all his main intentions in Torah davening was to make the level of Shem. V'ayim Mizeh B'Zoyar Parshas B'Chukoisai Daf Kufin Gimel Alam Beis. Okay.